Hey you guys, what's up? Thanks so much for tuning in today's video. It feels like I've been, well, it probably has been forever since I sat down and filmed a video for you guys, so I'm really excited to do this one. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about some new products that I picked up from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now, we've been around this YouTube blog for some years now, right? And over the years, I've done plenty of videos on a lot of the releases that Anastasia Beverly Hills have. They used to be one of my favorite brands, but then I had lost interest of it. But when I seen this palette, y'all, this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Primrose palette. Y'all, when I seen this, I knew I had to get it. Y'all know I love me a good concealer, so I picked up 2 shades of those as well. Yeah, I want to talk to you guys about these products, show you some demos, I'll show you some swatches. Be sure to check in the description box below. I'll have timestamps for everything for you guys if you want to skip to a certain part of the video. I do hope that you watch the full video though. So let's go ahead and get into this palette. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Primrose palette. I have the box here. On the back of the box, it shows you a description of the palette. It tells you that these are pressed pigments for the face and body. This palette is not necessarily an eyeshadow palette. It's more of a, it says it's a palette for face and eyes because they have those pressed pigments in there. A lot of these shades are not meant to be used for the eyes, but me and my sensitive eyes have been using this palette. I tested it out when I first got it. I sat down and did this look for you guys today, and I haven't had any issues. So, you know, just be cautious with that and take that information as you will. I did do close-ups on the packaging and the boxes if you want to know information about ingredients and things like that. Feel free to pause the screen at that point and you'll find all the information that you need. I'm not going to go into too much of the technical information. I want to talk about this beautiful palette here. This says it has a shelf life of 12 months. This is a cruelty-free palette and it's made in the USA. So I went directly to the ABH website just so I can give you a little bit more information about the palette. So it costs $55. And details about the palette, it says holiday magic gets even more enchanting thanks to our luxurious rose-inspired all-in-one palette designed to help you create all your day-to-night looks easily and brilliantly. We packed this season's most coveted beauty with 12 deliciously buttery shades and the intense color payoff of dreams so you can effortlessly go from natural to ultra glam. What would y'all consider this look today, guys? Ultra glam? I think it's ultra glam just because of the lashes that I put on, but all the information and details of everything that I have on my face today will be listed down below, and the majority of it will be demonstrated in this video as well because a lot of the products that I use are also from Anastasia Beverly Hills. So it says no makeup artist or party invite required. Each highly pigmented texture. Think rich, decadent mattes. Yes, they are so rich and buttery. Oh my gosh. And multi-dimensional metallics, which y'all see that in the corner highlight, right? I like y'all. So the blends and builds to deliver all the gorgeous effects you've been craving. Shades include, and any shade that they're listing here with the asterisk are the shades that are the pressed pigments where it says that it's not intended for eye use. As I do the swatches, I will definitely go over all of that information with you guys. So you have the shade Rose Water, which is a metallic bright opal with multi-dimensional effects. Next up, you have the shade Honey, which is described as a matte sandy beige. This is actually one of the ones that says it's not intended for use around the eyes. To me, that makes a perfect transition color. I don't know what they're talking about. Next up, you have Sparkling Amber, a metallic rose gold with multi-dimensional effects. Also has an asterisk, which means it's not intended to be used around the eyes. Primrose is a matte dusty rose with multi-dimensional reflex. Also a shade that is a pressed pigment and not meant to be used around the eyes. Mango is the shade that I used for my transition today. This is described as a matte coral peach. Also has an asterisk. So that is another pressed pigment that's not intended for use around the eyes. Peony is a sparkling petal pink with gold reflex. Also has an asterisk. It's another pressed pigment. Then you have Rouge, which is a matte rose beige brown. Fire Opal, which is a metallic bright copper with opal reflex. Then we have Deep Berry, a matte deep berry, and that also is not meant to be used around the eyes. Then you have Claret, a matte rich plum, another pressed pigment. And the 2 blush shades, it's interesting to me that one of the blush shades is also a pressed pigment, but again, this is a a palette that's made for face and body, so it makes sense. You have Grapefruit, which is the matte pink coral. That one is a pressed pigment. And then you have lastly Saddle, a matte terracotta. Funny enough, I forgot that when I was doing my look today, I totally forgot about the blush shades there, but I have some footage of these shades. So let's go with Grapefruit first for that blush. As you see me applying Grapefruit here, it actually does show up. I was surprised to see that it showed up. It may look like a little ashy coral, but it did still show up on my skin tone. So I was kind of impressed with that it actually showed up. The blush shade that's my favorite is actually Saddle. It's a nice matte terracotta shade, which really built up really nicely on my skin tone, and I can definitely see this as an all-in-one kind of palette. Like if I want to take this because I'm traveling or anything like that, I can definitely see me using the eyeshadow. I can definitely see me using the eyeshadows as well as those blushes to, you know, get that all-in-one palette kind of situation where I don't have to pack so much. So I do like that aspect of it. When we talk about these eyeshadows though, guys, you know, ABH, I love their eyeshadows, especially when they have like the, what are they, how many pans? Okay, so it used to be like a 14, I pulled out the Jackie Aina palette here. This is a 14 shade eyeshadow palette, thinner packaging. I want to show you compared. I have a Primrose at the top, and you can see the Jackie Aina palette at the bottom. Jackie Aina's is much thicker than the Primrose palette, but Primrose is also much longer than the Jackie Aina palette. And the length makes up for those two blushes. So we get less eyeshadow shades, but you have those two blushes added. So I'm not mad at that. I would have preferred if it would have been the same size so everything could be nice and uniform, but it ain't that deep. It's okay. I do like the slimness of the packaging. I do like that. This can probably be wiped down. I did get a little dirty when I was doing my makeup. It got dirty like the first time that I used it, but this packaging is not like that velvet felt tip packaging that they always used to have, where it actually just gets dirty and stays dirty. So I do appreciate that as well. Very simplistic packaging. I just do like the simplicity of it, you know. So yeah, going back into these shades, these are just my kind of shades. I saw this and I just knew it would be a perfect palette for the fall. This kind of look that I have going on here, definitely a very fall-time look. It's an easy go-to kind of situation. You have a good array of mattes. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mattes in this. So half of the shades are matte. And then you have those beautiful dimensional metallics that are really nice as well. The shade Primrose, which is like the namesake of the palette, is called the Primrose palette. This shade is a little bit weird to me. I actually have it here on my eyelid today as well. But it looks like a matte with shimmers in it. But when it goes onto the eye, I really don't see too much shimmering going on. Like as you're applying it, you can see it, but it definitely doesn't last. So I don't know. I felt like that with that shade, they should have either took it there with the metallic, or they should have just kept it as a matte. I don't feel like the little glitter particles or whatever you want to call it, the shimmer aspect of that shade really makes sense because it doesn't translate to the eye. But other than that, I really am enjoying this palette. Like I said, those metallics, they are so pretty, these metallics. The mattes are very deep and pigmented. Mango is the only shade where I feel like I had to like build up a little bit, but it is that kind of shade that you want peeking in the background as a nice light transition shade. I think this palette would work for a good array of skin tones, anywhere from fair to deep. We could all use these, you know, Anastasia eyeshadows, pigments, whatever you want to call them. They're very pigmented and they work really well and translate very well on the eyes. I didn't have too much fallout as well. Like, I just think it's just another classic ABH palette. I'm not sure if it's going to be a limited edition palette. I do know the Sephora sale is coming up in a couple of weeks, so if you're interested, I think this is something that you should definitely pick up while we have that chance to get the discount. I think it's 10, 15, and 20. Rouge B gets 20, VIB gets 15, and then regular Beauty Insiders get 10%. But anything that you can get off would always be a help. So I'll have it listed and linked down below. There are a couple of retailers that's actually selling this. Macy's, they're always doing like these little beauty deals. So if you can get it on their website, I'll have, like I said, I'll have all the retailers linked down below for you guys so you can check it out. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the 2 looks that I did the other day when I first got it. I was playing with it. I wanted to use every shade in the palette. And when I did go on the ABH website, I went ahead and picked up the Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch Concealer. I actually picked up 2 of the shades. I have these shades 20 and 21. Now let me tell y'all, ever since I tried this concealer, y'all, I have been using it non-stop. Like, And I don't know if y'all can tell, this is like a pretty really full coverage concealer if you ask me. I use the smallest amount on the days that I'm going to work. Like I'll put a dot in here and you can blend out that one dot of concealer and it still does a really good job at concealing. Yeah, I told y'all, packaging matters, guys. This packaging got me. I went to Ulta and I had to go in store to see the shades because online I was a little iffy on which shades I was gonna get. When I went into Ulta, I basically narrowed it down to 3, 19, 20, and 21. I ended up buying the shades 20 and 21. And the funny thing about these shades is, for me, 21 is brighter than the 20. So 20 for me is more of a skin tone shade. That's what that looks like. I'm pretty sure I did swatches of this as well. And then this one is the shade 21, which is... So let's read a little bit about the Magic Touch Concealer from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It retails for $29. Again, same thing. They have the Afterpay on the website if you guys need to use that. It says Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch Concealer corrects, brightens, blurs, and conceals while blending to a luminous second skin finish. The lightweight formula melts into skin with the consistency of creamy water and delivers buildable medium to full coverage, while light reflecting ingredients neutralize imperfections and create a soft focus effect with a natural finish. Magic Touch Concealer helps to hydrate the delicate under eye area and provides smooth, creaseless, and comfortable wear without oxidizing or settling into fine lines. Amino acid coated pigments ensure immediate adhesion and easy, flexible blendability. So that's how Anastasia Beverly Hills describes it. And yes, I do like that little wand. I wiped it off and it always looks like there's like a little extra tip. I don't know if y'all see that little extra something on the end of that wand. It makes it so it fits perfectly in those inner corners of the eyes. If you want to go around your nose, it just has a really nice, comfortable application. Now, with this concealer, it is very creamy. It's a very creamy concealer, and it was weird to me because it says that it's creaseless. Now, with it being so creamy, to me, well, I have lines underneath my eyes, so creamy and lines do not mix for me. I definitely have to make sure that I re-blend out my concealer before I actually apply powder, or I will have creases, which is something that I forgot to do today. It doesn't crease too bad. Like they did say it's movable, so you don't really see it, but you shouldn't be all up in my face like that anyway. But as I've worn this over the weeks, I've definitely seen the difference. I definitely do prefer it when I blend out and then put the powder on top. I definitely do agree with the rest of the claims that they have. It is definitely a medium to full medium buildable to full coverage concealer, because if I do apply just one layer of it, I will be good. I feel like it's not too overdoing it. But then when you put on that second layer, yeah, there is like nothing peeking through. This conceals like nobody's business. For me to have 2 shades, I'm very happy with this concealer that I have 2 shades. With one that's more of my skin tone, so I use that for color correction, and then if I want to add that brightness to it, I can go in with my number 21. Again, 21 to me is lighter than the 20. I agree, no oxidize. I didn't have any oxidizing. I don't really experience oxidizing with concealers. That was a weird little claim that they put in there. I don't really experience that. But yeah, they said no oxidizing, the fine line situation I just told you about. And yeah, flexible blendability. I feel like it moves with my face. Like I don't have any issues with like creasing above my mouth, which is a serious problem for me because you guys know I have that hyperpigmentation from eczema above my mouth. So concealer is something that I live by, and I feel very comfortable and I feel very flawless when I wear this as a base. The concealers and the palette, I recommend them both. Like I said, the VIB sale is coming. There'll be sales everywhere in the upcoming months. So if you don't want to shop from one place and you want to shop at another place, like I said, Macy's have been having really good sales. Ulta, if they decide to send out another 20% off coupon, anything, I'll have everything listed and linked down for you guys down in the description box below. Let me know your thoughts on these products that I discussed in this video. If you got your eyes on any of these products, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That helps me out greatly, and it lets other people know that they should be watching this video as well. If you're new here, I invite you to check out some more videos from me here on the screen. You can binge watch me on this playlist if you like, and I hope you would consider subscribing to my channel. Until next time, y'all, I hope to catch each and every one of you on the next video. Stay blessed. Later, y'all.